Kitty man, I had a flow. Drip that water, call that boss. You try my squad and they gon' be in cost. You better be prepared to take a loss. I left my enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce. No, it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. No, it ain't sauce. No, it ain't sauce. Yeah, enemies dripping, but it ain't sauce. It ain't sauce. It ain't sauce.
Hello people, it's your boy Austin Smitty and welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars the Acolyte. Acolyte. Said it right. Yeah, Acolyte. So, I didn't get a chance to actually review Ahsoka. I didn't get it really because of school. I had school. I was pretty busy. I said I really wanted to review Ahsoka at the time, but we didn't get around to it. But based off of everything with this show, and all the stuff that's been happening, and me, of course, actually watching the show, I had to review this show. I had to review it, and based off of the title, I just want to let you know this show is great. It's like really good. You're gonna really enjoy it. And if you really thought that's what my reaction was gonna be, well, you're sorely mistaken, because this shit was fucking ass. Okay. Sadly, this is the first Star Wars review I believe I am doing, and sadly, it had to be this. I don't even know where to begin. I watched the last episode yesterday. I was actually trying to get a review out yesterday, but that didn't happen. I was pretty I was pretty busy, so that didn't happen. But yeah, I was trying to get a review out, and after watching that last episode, at first I was not going to review or do anything. I was just gonna let it just be what it is, and then when we actually get something else, I'll do it. But I was like, I gotta review it. I gotta talk about it. I gotta get this off my mind. I want to let shit loose. I can't. No, so this ain't gonna probably be that long of a video, but you know, it's gonna be what it is. Where do I even begin? For one, for those that at first this show was said to be this woke, gay, LGBT, like it was said to be this just disgusting female like led thing. The show isn't that at all. It's not that at all. I don't know where that came from. The creator, director, Leslye, that's what was foretold it was supposed to be. The show isn't like that at all. I don't know where that came from, but the show isn't bad because of that. The show is bad because the show is just bad. Like the show is just bad in writing, in characters, all around, besides maybe two characters that I like. And the story just really, and this is like almost like with the X-Men in a way, and pretty much with Star Wars in general, it's so inconsistent and goes all over the place. It's ridiculous. Like I don't even know what to like. It's just mind-boggling that this show got greenlit, because I'm like, who thought this was good? So I'm gonna just get this part out the way. There will be spoilers. Honestly, I don't think you should watch the show. I don't think anyone should watch the show. If you're a Star Wars fan, or if you're a new Star Wars fan, or if you're someone that just wants a new show to watch, don't watch this shit. Just don't watch it. It's a waste of time. I'm gonna spoil everything. I'm gonna just get that out the way. So if you don't want to get spoiled, see ya. If you don't care about getting spoiled, then this is the place for you. Or if you already watched the show and you want to just hear me rant, then thank you for joining me. But yeah, the show is just none of that actual stuff happens, and I didn't really care about none of that as long as the show still got where it needed to be and made good points. But it doesn't. That stuff still doesn't happen, and it's still a bad show. Like it is still a bad show. As long as they don't make that, as long as they don't make that stuff the main focus, like, and try to hammer it to us the entire time, then I would be fine. But mostly none of that stuff that I said in the beginning about the being woke, I still don't fully know what woke means to this day. is in this. It's not in here. Like, it doesn't even have it. The show is just bad for a lot of other reasons. Pretty much after that last episode, it's just ridiculous. I'm gonna start with the characters. That's where I'm gonna start. For those of you that did watch the show, and for those of you that, unless you just want to hate watch it, Soul and Cormier, I would say, are the best characters in the show. Cormier, especially. I think. Like, yeah. I can't think of anyone else that's really good in the show. Those are really the only two good characters. Those are the only two characters that I give a shit about. They're, except Soul, when we get later down the line where he starts becoming stupid and making dumb decisions, and like later he's supposed to tell like the two main characters, Osha and May. Well, at least he's supposed to tell Osha at least about what really happened, because she didn't really experience those events. By the way, spoiler alert, he never tells her. He's supposed to tell her about those events, and he never does. And he holds a lot of stuff back, and it ends up destroying his character along the line. And there are certain moments where he should have told Osha, but he doesn't tell Osha everything. There's certain things that where when the Jedi are like, when he first encounters Cormier, and he takes out like Cormier, and he can do, there's moments beginning the show where he can read minds and do certain tricks. He doesn't use these tricks later, like at all. He just forgets about them. So it's kind of funny. Like, and I know we're like in the characters, but like kind of like with the story, it's like they do certain moments just to either try and throw you off, or they do certain things where they're just trying to lead to the next main point. And that's pretty much what happens with his character. His character just hits beats. His character just hits certain beats. Cormier, he's actually a pretty cool character until they start trying to, and I don't know what's up with Leslye in this. In Disney, trying to make Star Wars like this now, trying to make it some type of CW teen drama. I don't know what it is, but yeah, they try to sexualize Cormier, and I'm just like, I don't know where this is like coming from. I don't know why they're doing this. I think this is like stupid that they're doing this, but they're trying to sexualize him, and Osha is like falling in love with him, even though, spoiler alert once again, Cormier kills like everybody. He doesn't kill Soul. He kills like all of the Jedi that come with him on the planet. And Osha is just starting to slowly turn to the dark side, and it's like it just comes out of nowhere. So, but outside of that, Cormier is actually pretty cool. I really wish the story focused on Soul and Cormier. I think a lot of people can agree to that those two characters, that would have made the story so much better if we went deeper into Cormier's backstory. We learn more about Soul and Cormier. Like that should have been the Acolyte. That should have been the whole story. I felt like that should have been the whole story. As for Osha and May, I'm probably not, well, before I get to Osha and May, I'm not, the other characters, let me look at who you got Yord, Vernestra, who I just found out is Leslie's wife. So Leslye put her wife in here. By the way, Leslye, don't, you're no disrespect, but your wife can't act for shit. She can't act for shit. She's horrible. You have Mog, yep, and Jackie. I like Jackie. Jackie was a cool. She's played by freaking Wolverine's daughter. I don't know her name. I just know her name is Wolverine. I'm gonna just call her Wolverine's daughter. Those other characters, I did like Yord. Yord was good at first. He was this kind of like Jedi that was real respectful to the rules of the Jedi. Like he really wanted like to follow all the orders and the rules. Even though he also has his moments where he kind of switch ups. He has his little switch ups, but they're not as bad. And Yord also has a moment. Yord and Cormier, they both have moments where, for some reason, Marvel's trying to do not Marvel. Star Wars is trying to do the Marvel thing now in a way in this show where they have to show like multiple shirtless scenes. They gotta show the man showing off his pecs and everything. Like I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why. And both of those scenes are just really awkward because it's literally no music, no nothing. They're just standing there flexing. Like they're just standing there looking. Like they're not really like doing anything. And there's even a moment where someone tells, I think Jackie tells Yord to put your shirt on. Yeah, it's just weird moments like that. Like, why is Star Wars becoming this vampire? I like Vampire Diaries, by the way, but why is Star Wars becoming this Vampire Diaries type? Like, with this, that's not what Star Wars is. This should not be what Star Wars is about. As for the other characters, they're okay. Leslie's wife, I don't like her character. Her character is terrible. Her character is dumb. Her character does something I'm gonna say later, and by the end of the show, actually, yeah, by the end of the show, that pretty much makes no sense and pretty much disrespects everything that Soul has done for the Jedi and all the good stuff he has done. Like, it's just ridiculous. Yeah, May and Osha, these have to be May and Osha have to be the worst characters, some of the worst characters in Star Wars I have ever seen. I think they are worse than Reva. Is that her name? I think that was her name from Obi-Wan. Reva, I think they're worse. I don't know what Star Wars gripe is with trying to make every character like Anakin or like Luke for that matter. They trying to make every character like this chosen one. And the thing about it is, you made Anakin the chosen one, but if you keep making other chosen ones, you kind of defeat the whole purpose of Anakin being the chosen one. So it's kind of weird. And in the show, Osha and May are both created by the Force. And it's like, you have all these contradictions because it's like, you have it where in the prequels they're like, oh, Anakin's the chosen one. He was the only one that was manipulated and created by the Force. But now you're telling me that you have all these things that happened before that, and that they was created by the Force, and that there was someone else that created them by the Force. These witches, these random witches that created life, and it's like, but then how does that work? Because you can't. And it's just weird. And then Osha and May go back and forth between the good side and the light side. It's just so ridiculous. Like, there's a moment, especially Osha. By the end of the by the end of the show, I don't know what the hell Osha's motivations are. Like, I don't know what Osha. Actually, no, I don't know what May's motivations are. Osha, by the end, she goes from this character that doesn't know how to fight, that doesn't know how to do anything, and then all of a sudden, out of random, having no training, being terrible at the Force, all of a sudden knows how to use the Force, knows martial arts, and is a great fighter with a lightsaber out of nowhere without training. May at the beginning, seemingly already knows how to do some of this stuff. All of a sudden is not as good as a fighter as Osha now, when before she seemed like she was a good fighter. And now May also kind of has this thing where she goes back and forth, where she decides she wants to be a good guy, but then wants to be a bad guy. She wants to help her sister, but then she doesn't want to help her sister. She wants to turn herself into the Jedi, but then she doesn't want to turn herself into the Jedi. She wants to be the Acolyte, but then she doesn't want to be the Acolyte. And it's like, she keeps going back and forth, and it's just she never makes up her mind. And then Soul ends up saying that they're supposed to be the same person, but then Cormier does something at the end of the show where he wipes May's memory. But if they're the same person, that wouldn't really make sense, because then technically you will be wiping both of their memories. And it's like so many like things happen that just don't make any sense, that just contradict certain things in the show and in the prequels. And it's like, I don't even know like what to say anymore. Like, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. But that's pretty much for the characters. Most of the characters don't really have that much depth to them. They're kind of just there. I mean, you do have the main Jedi that May try to kill. The moment you see them, they go away. Like they're not the girl that the lady from the Matrix. I forgot her name. I was hoping to see her a lot more. She's literally in like the first couple of minutes of the first episode, and then she dies, and that's it. Like that's it, and it's just like whatever. So as for the story, the whole purpose of the story is literally because I kind of rambled about the characters, but and went a little all over the place, like the show. The story is literally about May. Not May. It's about it's about Osha and May. It's about Osha and May, and Osha is being framed by May, her twin, for killing Jedi, or is on a path to kill a certain amount of Jedi that destroyed her planet, that destroyed where they were from. And it's up to Soul and the Yord and the rest of the Jedi and Osha to find out who's in control of her, why is she doing this, and whatnot. And it just boils down to the dumbest thing. It just boils down to the dumbest stuff ever. And it's just like we could have made so much stuff. We could have made a Yoda series. We could have made a Count Dooku series. We decided to make the Acolyte and make it into the CW, and that's just no. No, I this show is just it's just a no. I could not fathom what I was watching, and I really have wished that we just made a show about they call him Smilo Ren about Cormier and Soul. I wish they would have just did that because they were really, especially Soul in the beginning, they was really the most interesting characters. And with Osha and May, they just do so many wrong steps, and it's just I could literally talk about like it's so much stuff that I could talk about, like, and it's ridiculous. Like I could talk about literally how all of a sudden Osha, like I said before, Osha automatically knows how to fight, and then Osha bleeds a blue lightsaber red after showing her true colors and showing her true anger and going and killing a Jedi. But it's like, if I remember correctly, in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin killed a whole bunch of Jedi, and his lightsaber stayed blue, but Osha's turned red, and it's like, what is happening here? Like, it's like things just don't match up. And then I think one of the people that was on the Jedi Council is in this show. I forgot his name as well, because he ends up dying in Order 66. They said they tried. I think they decided to make him a little bit older than what he actually is, and then he says stuff in the prequels that don't add up to what he's doing in the Acolyte, and it's like, what is going on here? And you have, I'm gonna just say Leslie's wife because that's who she is to me. What is let me Vernestra. Then Vernestra, by the end, I'm gonna just say, because this is mostly with the last episode. With the last episode, you see that Plagueis is somewhat has his hands on what's going on, and it sucks that we're getting Plagueis in this because now they're about to butcher Plagueis, and that's just not going to be good. But you also, besides Plagueis, you also have Yoda. He makes an appearance, and somehow somehow Yoda looks older here than he did in the prequels, and then how he does in the original trilogy. But he's supposed to be younger because this takes place like 100 or 2 years before. But whatever. So Leslie's wife's character is Vernestra. There we go. Vernestra is about to lie to Yoda about Soul and what happened with the Jedi, instead of just telling the truth. And now it's almost like Vernestra is the reason why the Jedi fall and destroy each other later. So Vernestra pretty much blames Soul for everything that happens, for all the Jedi, even though it was shown that May killed Jedi. It was shown that May was in control of certain aspects of killing the Jedi. It was shown Cormier killing Jedi, like video logs of it, and it's like video logs of Cormier and not Osha, May, but somehow Ventra is somehow gonna blame it all on Soul, and it's just like, how does that work? And if you're gonna get me to believe that Yoda is that stupid, and you're gonna ruin Yoda as well, then you might as well just not. You might as well just cancel the show altogether. But then again, based on how the show ends with Cormier and Osha holding hands like they're lovers now, even though Cormier literally killed everybody and Osha's friends. Based on how it ends, we're getting a season 2, sadly. Just like with Velma, we're getting a season 2, sadly. And most of the problems in season 1 have not been resolved. Like, we literally don't know anything about Cormier's origin story, like, whatsoever. So you're still going to have some stuff with that. I guess some of that will be resolved in season 2. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff about the show. It's a lot of stuff about the show, mostly bad. But I would never. We would be here for hours. We would be here for hours, and it's just like, just know that the characters are not good, other than Soul and Cormier. Mostly Cormier. Soul was good at the beginning, but once we got to like 5, 6, and started getting deep into the witches and whatnot, and Soul not trying to tell the truth and just holding shit back, and him falling in love with a little girl, which is weird. Like, it's just no. Other than Soul and Cormier, the characters are stupid. Osha and May are the dumbest characters ever, and I'm just happy that this shit and this travesty is over, because this was ridiculous. This was very ridiculous. If I was to rank this show as a whole, honestly, I would take back everything I said wrong about Boba Fett. I would take everything wrong I said about Obi-Wan, because yeah, that's how bad this show is. And it's not even bad for the reasons people are saying it's bad. Because people are saying the reason it's just bad, and they didn't even watch the show. The reason the show is bad is because the characters are just not likable, and the story is just all over the place and not good. But if I was to rate this, I might gotta give it like a 3 out of 10 overall. Like, it 3 or 4 out of 10. The best episode is when we figure out who Cormier is. Like, we figure out who the dark figure is. That's probably the best episode. I think that was like episode 5. Yeah, that was like episode 5 or 4. And when we got to actually see Plagueis for like a whole 3 seconds. But I don't even want him to be connected to this, because I guess you could say, because everyone here would have to die. Like, eventually they would have to die. So maybe this is just Plagueis doing a test run. I don't know. But everyone here would have to eventually die. So if the show doesn't get a season 2 and this is how it ends, then that makes it even worse. If we do get a season 2, which I still wouldn't want. I mean, I don't want a season 2, but I want to know how all of this is going to actually end, because they all would have to die, because literally the Phantom Menace would be next. So I don't know. I don't know. But we just need to aim. I don't know what Star Wars is doing. I don't know what Disney is doing with Star Wars right now. I don't think Disney is the reason Star Wars is bad. It's just Disney needs to you need to get people that actually care. There's literally no reason why someone that doesn't like Star Wars made a better show than people that actually watch Star Wars. There's no reason for that. There's no reason Andor should be good and this shit be trash. There's no reason for that. That is ridiculous. Okay? Disney just needs to get people that actually care, that actually liked it, like and know what the characters are. Okay? We don't need another Anakin or Luke. Okay? Stop with that shit. We don't need that. Okay? Stop butchering Anakin in his story. Okay? You do not need to make everyone a chosen one. Please. You need to stop that. Okay? Why can't we just have regular, Star Wars stories? Okay? Like, that would be perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But anyway, a 3 out of 10. That's what I would give the show. if you just want to watch the show to see how bad it is, I guess go ahead and watch it. But honestly, just like I did with like Gotham Knights on the CW, if you hate watch something, then you're still technically giving that show power. So I would just suggest you skip this one. Don't watch it. Watch it on like a bootleg. Don't watch it on Disney Plus because we don't need this show getting no more. We don't need it getting. I don't. It's weird because I'm not even making sense right now because I want a season 2 to see what's going to happen, but that's only to see like premiere maybe. But I don't want it to continue because I don't want no more of this travesty. So I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.